there was no sign of wine. It was water. It took great obedience for the people to carry water and take it to the master of the feast. Wine is finished and we need wine. And there was a random guy who had come with a group of men in the people, in the auditorium, in the audience, whose mother or a woman had recommended and said that do whatever he says you should do. And he has asked us to fill jars with water, and after he's asked us to fetch some of the water and bring it to the master of the feast. And when we fetched the thing, it still looked at water as water. It still appeared to be water. There was no sign of wine anywhere. Marasata. Obedience. 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 I was carrying water to the master of feast. The servants were carrying something in their hands to the master of feast. It was water. They were bringing unto him water. What they were carrying was water. What you are carrying is a stomach without a womb into that marriage. What you are carrying is a CV that does not have the requirement for that job. What you are carrying to the doctor is the symptom that you are pretending is not there. What you are carrying is the weakness that you have. What you are carrying is the shortage. What you are carrying into that contract is a requirement that you do not have. What they were carrying to the master of feast was water. It was not wine. What you are carrying onto that contract bargain, you want to win it, but your account cannot get you that. You want to acquire a property, but what you are carrying is not enough. It is short. Pray with me, pray with me. Kibarabasefeli ada. Reke manamaruski branda barasata. Hey, without that obedience, the guys fetched the water and could have said that, hey, it is enough. It is enough. It is enough. If the dancing of the daughter of a king could earn the reward of the head of John the Baptist, how much more do you think that this can do? Fetching water to the master of feast when what we need is wine. But the carrier said that I know it is water. Yes, I'm aware. My body is telling me that the symptoms of cancer is still present. My body is telling me, my emotions are telling me that symptoms of bipolar are still there. Schizophrenia is still there. It is still there. That's what my body tells me. But there is another report that I believe, and that is the report that says that miracles are still happening. I have applied for that job, and then everything that I have, my documentations are telling me that I do not qualify, but I don't care, because Jesus has said that we should taste it, and we are taking it as it is. Obedience, 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 obedience. It is through this obedience that makes the heavens call things that are not as if they are. Pray, pray. Labrose de belusa. I am reading from the book of Romans chapter 4 verse 17. As it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, in the presence of whom he believed, even God, who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which are not as though they were. Things that are not present, things that are not as if they are. I call my miracle that is not as if it is. I call that breakthrough that is not as if it is. I call it out right now. come into being. Lift your voice and begin to call it out. I call out the wine that is not, it is water. I see it, I carry it, it is water, but I call it out. I see it, it is wine. I see it, I carry it, I see it, but I am calling it out. Ayamano rasibiliato sadabara rapakapadabara sadabadaba. Lift your voice, call it out as if it is. Call it out. It is water. It is water. It is not wine. But Jesus' mother, Mary, has said to them that it is going to be whatever he says to do. And for that matter, right now, he said we should fill the jars with water. We have done so. And the next thing is that we should carry that same water, fetch some to the feast master, and let him have a taste. And so we believe and we are obeying the voice of God. The voice of God says that we calling out things that are not as if they are, as if they are, as if they exist, because it calls out from a different realm onto our realm of existence, onto our realm. Lift your voice. Ramama rabadaba. Call out your healing. Call out your healing. Lift your voice. Legeve mazuze vebara. Rapapa rabazutaba. Lift your voice right now. Ropapa lebele pataya debakose. Come on, come on. Call it into being. Call it into being. Call it into being. Call it into being. Call your miracle. Call your property. You walked into that house. You walked onto that land, and your bank balance does not qualify you to even be around that area. But right now, you are calling it out. You are bringing it into being. Right now, you are speaking it into being. I speak into being. I speak into my financial situation. I speak blessing. I speak joy into my marriage. I speak peace into the wind. The storms are loud, but refuse to hear Jesus' mother. Mary refused to hear what Jesus said. Jesus put out something and said, but it is not time yet for this to happen. But she refused to hear, and she turned and said to them, do whatever he says you should do. And they did, and they did obey. I obey your word. I obey your word. I obey your word. I obey your word. Your obedience is your door into your miracle. It's your channel into your miracle. Obedience is very important. You may have the faith. You may know the timing. It may be the Kairos time. You may understand the times like the sons of Issachar, and you would know, like the man that was lying by the pool of Bethesda, that the time is this. When you see the angel descend to stir up the waters, you may have knowledge what to do. He knew what to do, but the guy would have done it if he had the ability. But right now, we are obeying the voice of God. We are obeying the word of God. Speak now. Lema rabadaba. Speak into the situation. Rasende bedo sabakataba. Ramakoski branda balose. I pray for you. I pray with you. I pray for you. I pray with you. I pray into that sickness be healed. I pray into that sickness be healed. I pray into that situation be gone. I pray into that storm be gone. Cast away that storm. Let the storm quieten up, because Jesus is speaking. I pray right now, begin to take that step. Begin to obey. It is not as if you have it. You don't have it. You may not qualify, but do it. But do it. But do it. Naaman struggled because he had an expectation in his mind. This is how it should be. If there is any expectation of how you want it to be, how you want your miracle to be, right now, lose it now. Lose that expectation. Lose that expectation and hearken to the voice of God. Listen to the voice of God and obey the voice of God. Obey the voice of God. Obedience is key. I pray that God will keep you and cover you.